Welcome back to 22 Panels, the podcast that aims to examine, explore, and elevate the medium of comics. I am not Tyler. Tyler has the flu. And across the interwebs from me, Tyler does it much better, is Andy.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Dad.
um, and Andy got tapped in late, so we're making this up as we go today. So we'll probably have a little less content, hopefully a tighter uh tighter episode. But we'll also like teach Andy some stuff because Andy's been busy with like life and shit lately and
Crazy.
like not reading comics and keeping up on comics news because he doesn't realize that those are the most important things.
But they are.
Yeah. So, Andy, are you up at all on the whole Diamond bankruptcy and the
Well, I
way?
mean, I know what's going on, and I've been
Yeah,
following it loosely, right? And
right.
everything that's happening with it, right? And I talked to my
Well,
local comic store owner, Rick, down at Comic Fortress here in Somerville, New Jersey, and he was like, uh, he told me a lot of things that were going on where
yeah.
he was getting, they were like double billing him, and they
Oh
were,
yeah,
yeah, they were like,
they've been
"Hey,
double
you didn't
billing.
pay for
They've
this,"
been
and he's like, "Yeah, I
yeah. No,
did."
there's been all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but it feels like our first news of note any given week is more fallout from the Diamond bankruptcy. This week it's I think we talked about the fact that Massive Publishing is not only distributing through Lunar, but set up like an indie wing where other publishers that maybe aren't in a position to easily distribute through Lunar could distribute through Massive through Lunar. So they have what is
Okay.
called the Massive Indies now, and because that was one advantage of Diamond. Diamond was set up if you had one comic, they could distribute you pretty easily, whereas Lunar's not really set up in terms of listing you in their catalog and whatnot if you've only got one comic.
I
You know,
see.
they don't have like the classified part of. Have you ever had the big phone book Diamond catalog?
Yep.
Once you get through all the major publishers, there's it's
Hmm.
essentially like classified. You've got like
Yeah.
four entries and then three entries and then one
Yeah.
entry. Lunar's not really set up for that yet
I
in
see.
terms of making certain that people know that it's coming out. So at least for now, something that's happening is Massive Publishing, which doesn't do a lot of stuff, but does enough that they distribute through Lunar. Is doing what they call massive indies. So, like, if you've got your book or two, you can team up with Massive and get your spot in the catalog. Um,
That's pretty nice. I
and
mean,
Heavy Metal and Devil's Due announced that they will be doing that.
okay.
So that will be coming soon. More indie comics as the landscape of comics changes on a seemingly daily basis. Um, that's the little piece of news there.
Yeah.
Next comic news is a Jack Kirby documentary was just announced called Kirby Vision. And you watch more movies than I do, so maybe these names will
Hmm.
wind up meaning something to you because it says in the Beat article that it's from some powerhouses, but I generally expect to recognize at least one name when they say powerhouse, and I don't recognize any of them. It's going to be directed by Ricky Stern, who did Joan Rivers, A Piece of Work, and UFOs Investigating the Unknown, and
Don't know him
produced
necessarily.
produced by Dan Braun and Josh Braun, who did the Andy Warhol Diaries and
I know
Wild
them.
Wild Country,
Yep. Seen that. Know them.
and
And they've
and
done a couple
then
of other things too. Yep.
yeah, Mickey Cicchini, Ron Fogelman, and Chris Longo are also attached to produce.
Yeah, I'm not
So,
sure. Yeah, those guys don't ring a bell, but I know those other guys. They do good documentaries. The two guys, Wild Wild Country's a good doc.
all right. Well, see, that's good to know. I worked out that we had the guy
Yeah.
that does more film today. He
Yeah.
can speak for the Braun brothers.
Yeah, there that documentary is totally worth watching. I didn't even know that happened. And Jana and I watched it and we were like, this was going on in 1980, 85. We're like, how do
Right.
we not know about this? Well, there was no
What's it
internet.
about?
You
I
would
don't
have to
know
read
it.
it. It's about a cult that
Huh.
came over from India, India, I believe, and they moved to like, I can't remember exactly if it's Oregon or something like that, and they move into this little town of like 140 people, and they buy all this property, and then it's run by this guy who's, a guru kind of guy. He's all and doesn't talk or this and that, but he really had people around him that were manipulating him. And this one lady was part of the key. And so they tried to they took over the town by taking over by everyone voting and voting out the people who lived there. Then they tried
Well, I mean, they
to
live there then too.
but there was a
Everybody
lot.
lived
I mean,
there.
they were doing all
Yeah.
this. They were building a
Oh,
lot of
absolutely.
things, and there was a lot of questions of what they were doing. But they took over and changed all the ordinances because they were there, and then they wanted to try to vote out. I think it was either the state senator or one of the representatives or something. And so they were bussing in people who didn't live there, the homeless people from New York, to bring them in and saying they were going to take care of them so that they could vote. And then they literally just turned on a dime and left them with nothing. And they also tried to poison everybody that was a lot of the people that were voting in this area
Well, they definitely don't condone poisoning.
yeah, they put salmonella in like a salad bar or something like that, and a bunch of people
Right.
got sick and couldn't vote and all this stuff. They still ended up not voting that person out. But yeah, it was interesting. Like everything I just said sounds like I made it up, right? Like, oh, this is a story I
No,
came
it
up with,
doesn't.
right?
We live
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
era of
hmm
Trump.
Yeah. So it was really interesting. And like I said, I was surprised I didn't know what happened. So they will do a good job. I'm excited actually to see what they would do. So
Speaking of living in the era of Trump, we've also reached a point where the third piece of news just is never comics news because it's never a week where shit didn't happen.
yeah.
This week it was tangentially comics news because like comics prices will be affected if either Trump ever goes through with his Canadian tariffs, being that most paper comes from Canada and most comics are printed in Canada. And we have the capacity for neither in the United States. So it's not even like they're undercutting us, it's that we don't have the
Yeah.
plants.
To do it. Yeah,
But
we don't, that's not our manufacturing gig.
but at this point, I'm not even like as worried about him putting the tariffs in place as uh them getting fed up and not playing ball. He seems to think that it makes him strong to say, "Oh, I'm going to put these tariffs in place. I decided to put it off a month." They're sitting there going, "You are completely fucking with our economy, and the more times you do this, the more time we have to plan to not need the United States."
Hmm
Ontario's already talking about stopping selling power to Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, and they provide a significant amount of power to Michigan.
Well, I
Uh,
work
uh,
globally, and I have
right,
4 or 5 people who report into me who are from Canada, and they've said, yeah, there's no liquor on the shelves from from the
right.
US anymore.
And
Yeah,
that's not because it's not allowed. It's because the
yeah,
Canadian companies have said, "Yeah,
not to
okay,
do it.
we
Yeah,
got our own booze."
and they also said, the people that I know were like, yeah, we're not going to buy American products. Anything from
Right,
the US, we're not buying it. We're not going to Target anymore.
right.
They're going to just totally focus on the
I- I-
Canadian stores and everything like that.
well,
And
and honestly, if and this is the sort of thing that can happen because both of the countries are run by sane people,
mhm,
and smart sane people at that. If Canada and Mexico work out solid shipping that doesn't go through the United States,
yeah.
they don't need us anymore.
hmm So no, it's
If they
I
start
like
putting
it. Yeah.
stuff on boats or in planes
Yep.
rather than going through the United States,
hmm
they don't need us anymore.
Well,
It
exactly.
would be way easier for them to go, okay, you keep talking about closing the borders.
hmm
We're just going to do it.
Yep. Now they're taking steps. They had a day where nobody in Amazon, sorry, nobody in Canada was didn't buy anything. Like they were
Right.
just supposed to not buy anything because of just that. And then
Right.
you had the whole they've been boycotting Amazon like crazy,
Yeah.
et cetera, things like that. So
I
there,
mean, the
the people
best
are
I could
taking
come
it.
up with, if he has any rhyme or reason, it seems to be that like it makes various industries call him and beg, and he likes that.
I think it,
Because like he gets the phone call from this CEO or that
yeah.
CEO, and well, okay, I'll make a carve out for
Or
you.
I honestly think there's some money exchanging
Oh,
hands.
I guarantee
Yeah.
it.
Didn't
I mean,
somebody
that
just
was
give
my
him
next
$40
part.
million
You
or
give a
something?
million dollars
Yeah.
to my presidential
Yeah.
library,
Hmm.
or buy some Strump coin.
Yeah. So I mean he's just using it to shill his own make his own money himself, right? And
I
I mean
mean,
that's
the
that's what we knew
upside
he was
is
going to do, right? Yeah.
last week it was World War III. This week
Hmm.
it's just crazy tariffs. So I
Hmm.
mean, that's
Yeah.
progress.
And somebody I was having an argument that like, yeah, about the Pulitzer Prize should come back because that was made up story about Russia. And I'm like, so you think it was a made up story about Russia still? I mean, it's like,
Well, and beyond that, like the most extensive reporting on Russia and Trump was done by a Republican-led Senate committee.
mhm. And his own guy who went and looked for, it was his own guy who looked for voter fraud.
And didn't
He
find
published a
any.
report that said I didn't find any voter fraud
Right,
or nothing
right,
of
right.
any level.
Which doesn't
Yeah,
stop him from wanting to change laws to prevent
yeah,
voter fraud.
yeah.
For that matter, one of the things that got brought up this week because it was an anniversary of Selma, um, is
Interesting.
that for 40 years, um, the Voting Rights Act was renewed, clarified, etc., on a bipartisan basis.
Yeah.
Since they gutted it in the Supreme Court, there hasn't been a single Republican vote to,
To help it. Yeah.
well, to actually make national laws about voting that also include, you know, making it possible to vote.
Yes. Making it more possible, right? Yeah.
You know, so yeah, fun, fun stuff. We're
Yeah.
gonna move into some upcoming comics. Andy was picking dry, so like he's getting to see about these comics for the first time.
That's
So
true.
Andy, tell us about Exquisite Corpses.
Sorry, my cat was scratching at the door to come in.
Yeah,
So, Exquisite Corpses looks like a
James Tynion and
new
Michael
common.
Walsh.
James Tynion, who I absolutely love. I can read his horror comics all the time. Michael Walsh, and Jordi Belair's doing the cover. The
Colors.
series is yeah, sorry, doing the colors and the covers by Michael Walsh. But anyway, the series premieres. It's basically every 5 years on Halloween, the wealthiest families in America play a game. 12 of the deadliest people in the world are dropped into a small town with just one goal. Last killer standing wins. For the citizens of Oak Valley, Maine, this year's unlucky area, the goal is much simpler. They must survive, right? So
Survive the night.
yeah, that sounds like a very good comic, and he usually does not disappoint reading. He's a
No,
nice house
no.
on the lake, right? Yeah,
This feels very much like what kinds of things would rich people without hearts do if they
yeah.
were allowed to? Because more and more they are.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that book.
It looks good.
Yeah,
Looks good. I'm doing my two kind of together this week because we got a Jeff double feature. First, we have the It's Jeff Week from Kelly Thompson, Gary Huru, and Gustavo Duarte, where it's reprinting um, the 25th to 36 issues of the Jeff Infinity comic from Kelly and Gary Huru, and the 5 issue Infinity comic um, Jeff Week from Gustavo Duarte. And I don't know, have you read much? It's Jeff.
no, but
Oh,
it
I
looks
love It's
really
Jeff.
cool, actually.
Jeff is like my favorite uh, uh, character in the Marvel universe now. I might even like him more than Daredevil. And Kelly Thompson just makes it funny, which is why I'm also really, really excited that coming in June 4th, Jeff will get his first monthly comic book.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how long. It doesn't say, but oh, miniseries. But his first miniseries, his first thing that wasn't. I guess the Venom verse. It's Jeff was a one shot that wasn't part of Marvel Infinity Comics first. But this is only the second time in the first miniseries where Jeff is getting his whole thing in print rather than digital first. So I'm excited for that.
Did
Uh,
Kelly create that? It says co-creator,
yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
assuming you created that. Okay.
Kelly and Giri Huru. If you have Marvel Unlimited, pull up the Infinity Comics and just read the It's Jeff stuff. It
Okay.
quick reads. It's mostly silent and it's fucking hilarious. It's like the funniest Marvel comic there is.
Okay. I'm good
So
with pictures. You know,
I'm
words
I'm
confuse
I'm
me.
I'm disappointed that I hadn't told you previously to read Jeff the
You
Landshark
might
because
have.
It's Jeff is just amazing. So here you go. You get to and I was just telling you you should read more Mad Cave comics. Mad
Yep.
Cave has been killing it
Absolutely. Actually, there's been a
lately.
lot of stuff I've been reading by them, like
Yeah,
of anything really.
killing it.
So it's whatever happened to Crimson Justice, right, by Frank Thierry and Inaka Miranda. Did I get that right?
Inaki
Inaki
Miranda. Yeah.
Miranda. Um, there was a time that when the red alert shone in the sky, Empire City's greatest hero, the Crimson Justice, would answer the call. But now it's been years, and neither he nor his sidekick, Reddy, nice one, not their nor their psychic arch foe, Doctor Mayhem, have been
Psychotic.
seen. Nope,
Psychotic arch
psychotic
foe.
arch foe, my bad, have been seen since the Great Empire Hospital fire decades
Great
ago. What
Empire
happened?
City Hospital fire.
Yep, I'm a horrible reader. That's why I said me reading is always a bad thing. What happened that fateful night? Did they all die? But if that's the case, who or what is this Dr. Mayhem who's reappearing in the modern day, brutally murdering Commissioner Thomas Kent and challenging the justice to return? Is that possible? So, is he still alive? I don't know, but it sounds like
Yeah,
it would be an interesting one.
it does.
Anytime.
Frank
Yeah.
Thierry, I know I've read some stuff from. I can't remember. Inaki Miranda and the Miranda brothers have done a number of interesting things together. Their art is fantastic. So just looking at the cover here,
Yeah, the cover
I
looks
mean,
great.
Mad Cave has just been killing it for the last 2 years.
I would agree.
Um,
Everything I read by them, I enjoy.
well,
I've
and
been falling behind in a lot of things, but when I
yeah,
pick up one of theirs, they're always good.
but it also has a lot to do with the fact that like I mean, Mike Martz is there, he's been an editor at a number of places, and he's an editor there. A couple other industry veterans are editors there. Um, they've got their share of veteran talent, but they're also going out and finding new talent. But most importantly, um, they don't have any interest in being an IP factory.
Oh, okay.
Like if somebody like offers them money, sure, whatever. But their goal is to make great comics and be profitable enough making great comics to make more great comics.
That's good.
They pay people well. They pay them on time. When I fell in love with Mad Cave was like just after we started noticing that like a ton of their stuff was awesome. Um, was C2E2 last year. And since we'd had a couple of different presses that we'd like loved stuff only to watch them go bankrupt and or stop paying their people
Yeah,
and whatnot. So
that was,
before I
yeah.
got too excited about Mad Cave, I'm like, okay, I got to go talk to some of my friends who are working for Mad Cave, and I heard words that I'd never heard in comics before. Direct deposit.
That's funny. I mean, it's not funny, it's horrifying, but
For
that's
that matter, the
yeah.
particular artist told me that Wednesday night had become his most productive night because if he got his stuff in by Wednesday, it would be on that Friday's direct deposit.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So that makes sense. That's hilarious. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, see, it's like it's not that, yeah, money, I mean,
Like if you pay
yeah.
comics creators decent and you can manage to make money.
Yeah. Yeah. And they'll make good stuff for you. And they will
Right.
want to give you stuff on time. And they will
Right.
want and they will
Right.
again, it's like anybody I work for, anybody who works for me, I would rather work for somebody I like than I don't like. I don't care how good they are at their job. So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah.
right?
So, some graphic novels. Have you read any Oliver Schwarren?
I have not.
Okay, you'd probably dig their stuff. Most recent book was called Sunday, came from Fantagraphics.
Okay.
I enjoyed it a lot. I haven't finished reading it because it's like 400 pages long, but it's really good. And the upcoming one is called Arsene Schwarren. In 1947, the author's grandfather, Arsene Schwarren, traveled across the ocean to the mysterious, dangerous jungle colony at the behest of his cousin. Together, they would build something deemed impossible, a modern utopia in the wilderness. But not before Arsene falls in love with his cousin's wife, Marieke. Whether delirious from love or a fever-inducing jungle virus, Arsene's loosening grip on reality is mirrored by the graphic novel's reader's uncertainty of what is imagined or real by Arsene. So, yeah,
Sounds good. I
originally
like the art.
originally from 2014, I think being translated to English for the first time. Um,
Interesting.
Good stuff. Cool art, interesting
I do like
style.
the art. Right.
Bob Sikoriak turned me on to it to
Oh,
Schwarren. Yeah.
okay. Very, very
So,
good.
all right.
Oh, okay. Definitely a
Oh,
book
wait,
I'm
wait, wait.
excited
Hold
for.
on.
Sorry.
That's in stores on May 21st. Clementine.
Clementine, book three. Tilly Walden does the whole book. It takes place in the Walking Dead universe, and so it's fantastic. Clementine is I'm not sure who's been reading it, but it's about a young girl who is surviving the zombie apocalypse,
Zombie Apocalypse.
and it focuses on
Woohoo.
her. And yeah, right, indeed.
Yeah.
And so this is the third in the series. So Clementine finally has it all: a safe place to live, a girlfriend, even a cat, but nothing lasts forever. And when Clementine suffers a loss unlike anything she's ever faced, and she's faced a lot of loss, a new mentor called the Gardener. Gardner offers her a new family and a new way of living, but at what cost, right? Tilly Walden's great. So
Yes.
Sunbeam, Spinning,
Yeah.
just love her stuff. And
Yeah.
I've read all The Walking Dead, and I love it. I mean, it's not like my favorite book, but I just you got to
Right.
respect almost 200 issues in 25 years or whatever it was. And
Right.
she picked up and really does a good job of dropping into that universe. None of the
Yeah.
characters overlap, at least not that I've seen
Nope.
yet. Um, but it's a
It's a
very
different
interesting
corner of
take.
the universe
Yeah, it's
because the
would you
world's a big place.
is that considered young adult? Is this considered a young
Mhm.
adult book? Okay, I
It's
couldn't
considered
quite.
young
I
adult.
mean, it's definitely pushes the envelope, but I would imagine that it would be right in the sweet spot of young adult.
I
Um,
mean, to a certain
readers.
extent, young adult is now considered anything that girls would like
Oh, interesting.
or women would like.
Hmm.
Young adult is kind of more of a marketing thing than strictly an age group thing.
I see. Okay. No, it's
Um,
great.
so
And
so
she's so
more and
talented.
more it's
Yeah,
it's like and it's not exclusively this way, but more and more young adult from a marketing standpoint is where genre fiction that's going to appeal more to women than men
I
winds
see.
up being. And that's both in comics and in more literary works. I mean, I know so many adult women that almost exclusively read young adult because it's not tawdry or badly written romance,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's not, there's plenty of interesting things, but like too much of the sci-fi fantasy sections tend to be chauvinist. Too much
Yeah,
of the mystery crime section tends to be chauvinist.
yeah,
So it's like the way to indicate that, hey, this is LGBTQIA plus and female friendly.
yes, exactly. And
Young adult is
yeah,
far and away the most inclusive
yes.
section in a
That's why they
bookstore.
have the biggest audience
Right.
because they're not
Right.
targeting just dudes. They're targeting
Right.
just about everybody, and
Right. Right.
I think that's great.
Yeah. So how about this one? This one looks cool. I like I
Yes.
like Richard Sala. I haven't read any in a while.
So this me, right? Yeah, Night
Yeah.
Drive. It's the hardcover coming out by Richard Sala, and essentially, Night Drive collects several short stories inspired directly by pulp magazines, film noir, and Andre Brenton. Sorry,
Breton.
Brenton. And sinister and creepy pieces heavy on the atmosphere and signaling the creative emergence of a singular talent finding his footing with the surety of an artist equipped with the innate mastery of his craft and vision. Night Drive directly led to Sala contributing to Art Spiegelman and
Francois
Francois
Moulet.
Woulet,
Hmm.
Raw, and the adaptation of Night Drive's Invisible Hands for MTV's Liquid Television.
Yeah.
So
So
it
yeah,
looks great, actually. So
and I don't remember other Shala stuff off the top of my head, but I know that I've read it and enjoyed it. And for that matter, Kelly, I know, has read some Sala and enjoyed it.
oh,
And it looks like this is
plus,
republishing. It says the original self-published edition had 500 copies in 1984.
wow,
Um, and I think it's back in print for possibly the first time since then. So that's kind of cool.
yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. Stone Shore Register from G. Willow Wilson and M.K. Parker, reuniting for the first time since Air. Out from Burger Books. Burger Books, that's really all you need to see. Burger Books. If it's Burger Books, it's going to be great. Karen Berger doesn't put out bad books. Um, when a refugee and aspiring journalist Fadumo arrives to work at the Stone Shore Register, she is entering a far stranger place than she realizes. At first, the colossal stone giant overlooking the run-down, seemingly ordinary Pacific Northwest fishing town seems like the only remarkable element. But he is not the only strange surprise. Changelings, selkies, and cursed ships. The bizarre has a home in Stone Shore, yet no one gives it a second thought. Uh, and this will be out in April 21st. So again, I love Willow Wilson. I love MK Perker. They work well together. If you haven't read Air, you should read that too.
Oh, I think I did actually. Is that the one when
Okay.
everybody floats away because the gravity's off?
I
Or is
don't
that
know if
one?
everybody floats away.
Well, not everybody, but
Right.
I'll have to see if that's the one I'm
I
thinking
don't
of.
remember. It's been a while since I read it too.
Yeah.
Um, Collections, and if you're not reading this, you must read this. Spencer Ackerman, Pulitzer Prize winning um, security and international journalist Spencer Ackerman is writing Iron Man right now with art from Julius Oda, Javier Pina, and Rod Reese. Volume 1, The Stark Roxxon War, um, is out on June 24th. A new brutal era begins for the Golden Avenger with his company restored. Tony Stark's first order of business is getting Stark Unlimited back out of the weapons game. But a multinational company doesn't just stop selling weapons overnight, and the board is more concerned with profit margins than superhero ethics. Now they've made a deal with the devil. Stark Unlimited is for sale, and the highest bidder represents the combined might of Tony's two biggest competitors, Roxxon and AIM. But they're ready for the old Tony Stark. This one, he's a lot angrier than he used to be. New armor, old enemies, and unbelievable twists abound in this fresh take on a Fury powered Iron Man. Um, yeah, this is what happens when you have like people who know their shit writing the superhero version of this shit. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yes.
Um, yeah, every issue of this is just better and better. Um, yeah.
I don't know Spencer Ackerman, so interesting.
Spencer Ackerman won a Pulitzer Prize or he was on the team at the Guardian that covered the Snowden leak.
Oh, wow.
Spencer Ackerman won a number of awards for his uh, da, 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 it's not his newsletter is called Forever Wars and is required reading. Um, his book was Reign of Terror. Absolutely fantastic book. How the 9/11 era uh, destabilized America and produced Trump, and it really
Hmm.
takes you through.
Interesting.
Um, he's brutal on the security state under both Bush and Obama. Um,
Interesting.
shows the connections to Timothy McVeigh and white supremacy before that, and yeah, he's an old school serious reporter who
Writes a story that doesn't take 5 minutes to read, right? It
right
takes
right
an hour to read,
um
and then the book's longer, which is, by the way, that's a good thing. I'm saying,
I mean for Forever Wars is one of my required reading.
mhm.
Right now he's actually uh finishing up a book on Guantanamo,
Wow.
specifically from the perspective of one of the people who got to live there for a while.
Oh, wow. Well, good. I
Um,
bet you it was a blast.
got to.
Mhm.
um, yeah, he also did a book called Waller versus Wildstorm that if you haven't read, you should totally
Oh,
read.
that sounds interesting just by the title.
Yeah, and
That can,
he's been going to Bulletproof since he was in middle school. So like if you go
oh,
down to Bulletproof,
I
Hank
see.
has signed copies of everything, and you might even just bump into him.
I see. No, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So here you go. I love this book. You get to
All
talk about
right. Long Cold Winter, the trade paperback by Francesca Perioli and
Perilla,
Parilla.
Perillo,
Okay.
Stefano Cardicelli.
Oh, Perillo and Stefano Conocelli.
Yep.
Um, in the not too distant future, the air on Earth has become unbreathable. However, a multinational company called Airco has constructed generators that provide oxygen for those who can afford it. Peace Dog, a desperate ex-soldier who has been willing to do anything to obtain breathable air, is haunted by his past and hunted by bounty hunters, though he may have found a way out of his current predicament by helping a mysterious robot child escape the dangers and congestion in the congested city. Sorry. But someone from his past has no intention of letting him leave alive. Oh.
This has been amazing so far. I think the first four issues are
So I
or
did
maybe the first
join
three
Global,
issues are
by the
out.
way, just
What?
as we talked. I joined Global, just as you
Oh,
were
Global
talking.
Comics
Yeah.
since we started. You
So
should.
that's why I'm also updating fantasy baseball
Yeah, yeah,
things,
no.
but yeah,
Global Comics is
yeah.
is like the comics app to have at this
So I'm going to
point.
read that tonight, maybe.
But and like I said, they have everything from Mad Cave, significant amounts from everybody, but everything from Mad Cave. Um, so yeah, play with that. You will have
Oh
fun.
yeah. Well, the Mad Cave stuff, that and Distillery are probably the things I've been liking the most. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with anything coming out of Image and some of these other
No,
things, right?
those
Yeah,
I don't disagree that those
yeah.
are the two most consistent publishers right now.
It seems like you said, with Distillery too, the way they set up Distillery, people are bringing their A game, and
Hmm.
they have a reason to,
Hmm.
and it's
Hmm.
not just because they want to write good stuff. They want to write good stuff. Everybody wants to
Right.
write good stuff, but they want to get paid. They want to make a living doing
Right.
it. They don't want to have to
Right.
wash dishes and
Right.
write good stuff. So that's
So
that's why
so
those people who are going there and they're hopefully getting
yeah.
good payment for it.
running quickly through this week's final order cutoff. You have until March 17th to order the first issue of Fire and Ice When Hell Freezes Over from Joanne Sterer and Stephen Byrne, the follow up to Joanne's Fire and Ice series from last year that was fantastic.
Wow. Yeah.
Fire and Ice in Smallville. When Hell Freezes Over, apparently their powers switch. I'm talking to Joanne tomorrow morning with Ted and
Oh,
Rose, so
nice.
I'm looking forward to hearing about this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you caught this. There's a Harley Quinn one shot coming out called Harley Quinn Silent but Deadly
I see.
Fartacular. And
Oh,
it's
then
scratch and
yeah.
sniff.
Yeah. I'll
And
have to
it's
get that
scratch
then.
and sniff.
Yeah.
And Joanne wrote it and our friends Ted Brandt and Rose Stein did the art.
Oh my goodness. Then I
So I'll
definitely
be
haven't
talking to
seen
all
that
three
coming.
of them
Yeah,
tomorrow morning.
that's fantastic. Oh my God. I'm excited for that. I
Yeah.
love their art. Their art's
Exactly.
fantastic.
Exactly. The email I sent to them, and I'll be saying this again tomorrow, so I won't read it right now because I'm certain that I'll read it for tomorrow. But essentially, I said I almost just skipped over this in the catalog because it just when you see Harley Quinn Fartacular,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh,
Yeah.
cash grab. But then
Mm-hmm.
I saw cover A Branton Stein. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I got to click on it. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
art by Branton Stein
Mm-hmm.
and written by Joanne Sterer. That I've never gone from so quickly from I have no interest to I don't even need to read the description. I'm getting this.
Yeah. No,
So
I'm
yeah.
gonna have to get that as well.
Yeah. Golden Rage, Mother Knows Best. Did you read the first Golden Rage
I did not.
series?
No.
Golden Rage is like imagine like Survivor if it was all postmenopausal women.
Okay. Sounds good.
Because it's like a future society where women, once they can't have kids, are just dumped on this island.
Oh wow. Okay. That
So it's
sounds
got a
really
little bit of
interesting.
Bitch Planet going on,
Yeah.
but it's like Golden Girls meets Survivor, to be fair, more like Golden Girls meets Lord of the Flies.
Okay. That sounds
And this is
great.
the second volume of that series, and Heavy Metal will return in April.
Which is
Uh,
cool.
Crowdfunding A Boy Like Me by Jenny Wood. It's a
Oh,
novel,
Stink.
but we
I'm sorry.
love
Go ahead.
Jenny.
Sorry.
We
Go
love
ahead.
Jenny Wood's comics, so I've been bringing it up anyway. And I talked to Jenny recently, so you can go back and listen to that. Sink, City of Killers, the third trade paperback collection, and you can buy a Mr. Dig plush as part of this Kickstarter. John Lees and Alex Cormack will be speaking with me tomorrow. Um, Trombone Man, Ska's Fallen Genius from Adam Reeves and Konstantinos Pistorius is on Kickstarter through March 21st. And another previous guest, Steve Urena, has Zombie Date Night 2 with Sergey Dominique on Kickstarter through April 15th. And now we'll move into some amazing books that you aren't reading and need to be because you're missing so many good comics right now.
Yeah.
Living Hell
I can
number
believe that.
4,
Mm-hmm.
I think of 5, Caitlin Yarsky's first. She's writing and drawing, so it's all Caitlin. Well, all Caitlin and Clayton Coles. He's doing the lettering.
Lettering. Okay.
This and they're like best friends and have been for a long time. This issue actually had like the last 2 pages were Clayton or Caitlin taking responsibility for some of the lettering on a page where there were like song lyrics, like the song lyric
Yeah.
lettering, and then like a stern looking Clayton going, "Damn right, I'd never."
Mm.
Groupies number 4 is my second pick this week. It's on Comixology. It's trippy. It's psychedelic. It's music and
I
sex
like
and
Latoy a lot.
yeah, Tula Lotay
Oh
is
yeah. Sorry,
amazing
Latoy.
art. Helen Mulvane's
Yeah.
writing has been fantastic. And Birds of Prey, Kelly Thompson continues to kill everything she does. Kelly Thompson won Cabal for this issue. Um, yeah, Big Barda and Cassandra Cain's Batgirl were the dynamic duo I never knew I needed. They're really fantastic together. Um, so I can't recommend Birds of Prey highly enough to you, Andy.
I've been reading that on and off. That and Power Girl. I like to read
Okay,
the non, mainstream things,
I
right?
get
I'm
it.
reading the,
I get
the
it.
Black Canary stuff from
Oh,
Tom King,
oh
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I read Wonder Woman, of course, right?
yeah.
But
Have you been reading Chris Condon on Green Arrow?
I have not. So I'll have to check that out. I didn't realize he was doing
Oh,
Green Arrow. So I
yeah.
will check that out
He's I think 3 issues into his Green Arrow run
for the
now.
living hell of it. I'm just kidding. Right.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
his
yeah,
Green Arrow's been very, very good.
I can
Though
imagine.
I keep
Yeah.
joking with him and Spencer that like if I mean Spencer for a million different reasons, but if the White House ever starts reading comic books, they're gonna have to like go into hiding somewhere.
Mm.
Tom King too.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's the
They
thing,
are
right?
gonna have to find a bunker.
That's, when people ask me, like, what are you worried about? Well, I'm like, well, luckily for me, he doesn't want to just make my life a living hell. But if he decides that he just wants to throw the government at you, you're going to go bankrupt defending yourself. That's all.
Mhm.
So, you know,
Yeah, assuming you're allowed to go bankrupt, because
yeah,
um,
only he is.
well, but more and more, the Doge Bros have access to everything.
Sure.
I heard, the news this morning is that they now have access to the database of like child support payments. So, like, if you pay child support and are in that system, like they have your banking information. For that
Interesting.
matter, they have access to all of the IRS's computers. So if you've ever
Yeah.
had the IRS send you a direct deposit, they have
hmm
your banking information.
hmm Yeah.
This is assuming that you're allowed to go broke rather than the sicking the government on you is just freezing your assets and taking
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
house.
That's true. Right. It's again, I don't know why
I
people
mean,
didn't think this was going to happen. Yeah.
moving into great responsibility, uh, like if people want to understand Donald's old best friend, I know his new best friend is Elon, but his old
Well,
best friend is
yeah.
Vladimir. And there are two fantastic graphic novels if you want to get to know Vladimir Putin.
Absolutely. This was, I'm going to say this was my suggestion because it's one of
Yep,
the things I've been
it was a
reading
good one.
and
I mean,
finished.
it falls
Yeah.
into what I'm always saying, which is you want to know about something? There's a comic for that.
Yeah. I'm looking for my copy right now, but that book
And
is
this time there's
lovely.
two.
Yeah.
There's Alex Accidental Czar, The Life and Times, or The Life and Lies of Vladimir Putin from Andrew S. Weiss and Brian Box Brown, with a pull quote from Madeleine Albright.
Wow.
How many? How it's right there on the cover,
Yep.
Andy. How? Oh, no, it's on the front cover.
No, there it is there. Yes.
How many comics have a former Secretary of State with a blurb on their front cover?
Yeah. Maybe, well, we know one at
Yeah.
least. So,
And then
right.
Putin's Russia: The Rise of a Dictator by Daryl Cunningham,
Yeah.
whose next book, which apparently has just been sold in America, but he's not able to say with who yet. Um, his next full length book is
Box
Elon
Brown.
Musk, an Elon Musk biography.
Who was doing that? I missed
No,
it.
Daryl Cunningham
Oh,
wrote a
okay.
book called Putin's Russia: The
Oh,
Rise
okay.
of a
Got it.
Dictator.
Okay.
Both of these are fantastic books. They have crossover, but they
Yep.
also each have individual stuff. They're impeccably researched, and
Yeah.
like long have I said that like the difference between most books written on the right and most books written on the left is whether or not they cite their sources and specifically how detailed their citations are.
Yes.
Like Bill O'Reilly will write a book and maybe occasionally say so and so said this, but there's not
Mhm.
an index of go read this shit.
Yes, exactly.
Al Franken has 40 pages of footnotes.
Yep. They footnote every single, every chapter they tell you where all this all comes
Right.
from. Right at
Right.
the back.
Um so I mean that's always been the difference even in prose to me primarily between most popular writing on the right and left is how much they cite. But it's
Yeah,
also true in
sure.
comics. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
these both of these books are meticulously researched and they show their work. It's
Yes.
not, hey, bro, trust me, this is what
Yeah.
happened.
This is, yeah.
It's this is what happened, and this is why I know it happened.
Yeah. Andrew S. Weiss is Russian, and he
Oh yeah, he
he's been
worked in
working on
intelligence.
Russia for since he was 20, or something. It's like, yeah.
And Cunningham is a comics journalist essentially.
Let's see. Okay.
He's like a Joe Sacco type.
Mhm.
He doesn't do as much on the ground. He's more of the research type.
Sure.
But he's done books on um like junk science. He's done books on capitalism. He's
Oh,
done
wow.
books.
Yeah.
Look up Daryl Cunningham. You would enjoy his. The Putin's Russia is where I discovered him first. But now
Interesting. Okay.
I back his
Substack?
Patreon just to
Oh,
see what
Patreon.
he's working
Okay.
on, and he's got a book called Graphic Science: Seven Journeys of Discovery. That's fantastic. The Age of Selfishness. Ayn Rand, Morality and the Financial Crisis. How to Fake a Moon Landing. Exposing the Myths of Science Denial.
Oh boy, that sounds like a good one. It's
Right.
prose though, right? It's not. I'm assuming it's not comic.
No, this is all comics.
Oh my God. So okay, yeah. All right then.
This is all comics.
Yeah.
Billionaires, the lives of the rich and powerful. This year, he has Elon Musk, American oligarch, coming out on September 23rd. So I guess it has been announced now. That's already available in France. Yeah, the French. If you read French, you can read Elon Musk, American oligarch already.
Nice.
But the American edition comes out in September. Um, yeah, those are the ones I know off the top of my head.
I
I know
just
he's
bought
done some other stuff.
I just bought the fake moon how to fake moon
How to
landing
fake that? Kelly loves that one.
yeah, on online, but still,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kelly loves. Um, did he do? Did he do two
See here.
Putin books?
Putin. And
Because
it
it
does
looks like he's
relate
got one
to
that says the right. Oh no, it's just a different version.
there's the and it Putin, I said I made a joke about farting, but then we did have the
Yeah,
fartacular on
that's
here.
true.
So it is Putin. So it is the theme
Right,
that
right, 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 right.
still carrying through. So
Yeah, yeah. Um. So yeah,
yeah.
knowing about Putin and what he's done in Russia is why I'm much more scared than lots of people who just look at Trump and go, "Oh, well, he'd never do that." And it's like,
Yeah.
but the guy that owns him has. I mean, there's
Mhm.
evidence that Putin blew up a residential building with people in it to blame dissidents.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And
And
yeah.
here's the thing, we already have the media mechanism in place to do that sort of thing.
Yes.
Every time Alex Jones talks about false flags, every
Yep.
time anybody on the right predicts that somebody on the left is going to do something, it just means that if somebody on the right does it, they've already laid the groundwork to
Yeah.
blame the left.
Just like the whole thing at the sending in fake people at the town halls in the Republican town halls, right? Like,
Right,
are you kidding me? It's like
right,
that's their answer to everything, just misinformation.
right.
And even if the majority of the people don't believe it,
A-
enough of the
And
people believe some of these things that they're like the majority
and
of these people
because
don't.
there's
Yeah.
a massive right wing ecosystem, media ecosystem to begin with,
Yeah.
it's been easy. But like, I know that you've been mostly checked out, so you probably didn't subject yourself to the entire Trump Zelensky press gaggle that I
Oh God,
did.
no, I couldn't bear to watch that. But I know what
Um,
happened. I mean,
well,
essentially.
well, but here's the thing: everybody's seeing like the last 10 minutes, which is when they really jumped Zelensky.
Hmm.
But I actually think the first 45 minutes are equally important because um, it used to be the White House press corps decided who got access to what, who
Yeah.
rode on the plane, who had seats in the press room, who
Hmm.
got to go to the photo gaggle. As of about a week and a half ago, that's not true anymore. Now the White House decides themselves.
Yep.
Um, I feel like it used to be that reporters would start out by introducing themselves and then asking a question. At
Hmm.
least for that press conference, that wasn't true. The only person that I knew who they were from was CNN, and that was only because rather than answering the question, Trump talked about CNN being a failing network, and maybe the reporter should worry about that rather than
Yeah.
asking stupid questions. I don't
Hmm.
remember exactly what the question right now is, but I literally felt like it was the only non-stupid question being asked
Being asked.
because
Yeah.
other questions were along the lines of, do you think that this will help you add President of Peace to your already impressive resume? Follow up.
Yeah.
Are you embarrassed, Mr. Zelensky, that you don't wear a suit to the White House?
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
some Americans that think you should,
Hmm. Yeah.
which wound up being One American News. Russian state media had access to the room.
Yeah.
You know who wasn't in the room?
New York Times, Washington Post. I don't know. Yeah.
Associated Press or Reuters.
Reuters. Yeah. And Associated
Either
Press.
one of them.
Yeah.
Associated Press isn't even allowed in the White House anymore. You know why?
Because are they funded by the government or something? They take
No,
grants or something? I
no,
can't remember.
because they still call it the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Yeah, this is what I mean. That's why freedom of the press is pivotal to keeping our
Right.
government honest, right?
And when you learn more about Putin in the way that the first thing he did was take over
Take
the
over the
press, and
press
then,
and yeah, and
well,
television and all this stuff. Yeah.
the first two things he did was take over the press and bring the oligarchs to heel.
Hmm.
You either bent the knee to him or you vanished.
Well, you got thrown out of a window.
Right.
Yeah.
And so far, we haven't thrown any oligarchs out of windows.
No, not yet. Well, there's somebody's dying out there somewhere, probably because of all this. Somebody's getting killed.
Right. I mean, to to my knowledge, I haven't even heard whispers of the U.S. assassinating U.S. citizens yet.
Yeah. But, I
But
get,
that's like
yeah.
the next step from the Putin playbook.
Hmm.
I mean, everybody
Well,
talks
yeah,
about the fact that he's got the Hitler playbook going on, and he does there too.
agreed.
But he's also got the Putin playbook going on, and that's much more recent. He's got the guy to literally show him how to do it, who wants
And
him to do it,
yeah.
is helping him do it.
And guess what? Putin is way more successful than
Yeah,
Hitler, right? He's way more. He's definitely he knows what he's doing. I
yeah.
think the guy is a master strategist
I
and
mean, there's
manipulator.
a
Yeah.
strong argument that he's the richest man in the world.
Mm. Yeah.
And whether he literally is or not, he probably has access to more capital than anybody in the world.
Yeah. Whether it's legal or not is a different.
Well, but when you're the dictator of a country, you're the one that decides if it's legal or
Exactly.
not.
Well, that's what I mean.
So
Yeah.
it's not illegal. I mean, it's like I was having a conversation with somebody that was recently that was like, "Oh, the Supreme Court won't let him go there." And I'm like, "You don't get it. When the Supreme Court gave him immunity, they already let him go there."
Yeah, exactly. There's no, it's going to be hard to walk back from this one, you know?
I don't know how you expect to walk back from some of that. I mean, we're
Hmm.
so this is the I don't know if you want to add anything. My big thing here is like there's a comic for that. You
Yeah.
want to understand you want to understand Russia more. You want to understand who we're cozying up to. They're two fantastic comics, Accidental Czar by Andrew Weiss and Box Brown, and Putin's Russia
Agreed.
by Daryl
Yeah.
Cunningham, that will give you deep insight into this. Just like if you want to understand tariffs better, if you want to understand economics, we talked about economics, the comic,
Yeah. Yeah.
on this podcast not that long ago. I mean, uh, one of the reasons that I get so frustrated when people don't treat comics as a legitimate medium is there are so many things that comics describe better or at least simpler.
Agreed.
I am 99%. I haven't actually done it with Putin, but I've done it with enough different things that I'm 99% certain that I could read 1,000-page book about Putin and not get more information than I got in either of these 300-page comics.
Yeah. Yeah. I can only
Be,
agree with that. I mean, as somebody who
be,
finds it difficult to read text now,
well,
you
but
heard me reading text to you, right?
even without that,
Yeah.
you can use a greater economy of language. You don't
Yes.
have to worry about the flow of the words because it's pictures and words. Things that can be better described by a picture or by a diagram or whatnot, you're automatically going to do that. But
Yes.
beyond that, like writing a paragraph of prose is just different from putting that same information into a comic book form.
Yeah.
The message comes through with less words,
Yeah.
often higher level words. That's the argument I keep making to English teachers. Look, you learn comics use more unique words
I was going to say my vocabulary
because using the right word
was
is
from
really
comics. Yeah.
important.
I remember talking about the word exhuming with somebody in college because exhuming
Mhm.
McCarthy came out, the RAN
Right,
song, and they were like, "What's exhuming mean?" And I'm like, "Oh, that means that, when you dig up the dead body and look at it." And they'd never known that word. This is Purdue University,
right, right.
but I knew that word because it was in comics,
Yeah.
So,
So yeah.
the person is
Uh,
brilliant, by the way, who didn't know that the guy that,
no, but I
yeah,
mean,
but
everybody winds up having blind spots. But that's also why, like, particularly in a world that's moving this fast, I mean, the reason people are attracted to TikTok is they can get chunks of information quickly.
hmm
Where comics have TikTok beat hands down is it's way more likely to be able to give you depth to your chunks of information
yes,
that you pick up quickly. Um, sure, we have attention issues in this country, though. I mean, there are people who said that the printed word would kill attention issues, and it did. It changed attention issues or attention. Back when most people couldn't afford books and or even newspapers, they were much more able to read or to listen for hours on end and hold the information because that's how
yes,
they got information.
hmm
Um, the world has changed.
yeah, and it's
Not
gonna, yeah,
always for the better, but not always for the worse either. So, I mean, the one of the great powers of comics is you can work towards a lot of different attention spans.
yeah, and it, it as somebody who probably has some form of dyslexia, some slight touch of it, I I don't read words well. It's tough for
Right.
me. And I read a lot when I was a kid. I mean, I read a lot of novels when I was a
Mm-hmm.
kid. And I read the Hardy Boys when I was growing up as well as comics, right? I read Stephen King. I've read, Kurt Vonnegut, Margaret Atwood, all these things. But, at a certain point, I was just like, it's just so hard for me
Right.
to read. It takes me so
Well,
long. My kids read faster than me. They read faster than me when they were 12 years old, you
I
know?
mean, for me, it's also that like I've never liked getting my news from TV.
Fair.
Um, which means that the more of the world that I feel the need to keep up on, the more words I read a day in article form. and often like dense article form because I'm not a big fan of like the rewriting the AP piece.
Yes. No, I get it. Yep.
You know, if I read the AP piece, I also want to go check the sources of the AP piece. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
I mean that's one of the things that differentiates me so much from so many people, particularly when it comes to anything that involves science, statistics, or real research being quoted by a news organization. If they give me a link to
I'll just go read it. Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
do with all the
I
legal
will
docs.
generally go
Yeah.
read it before I even finish reading their
Yeah.
article.
Yeah. That's
Um,
I
if for no
people
other reason that you would be amazed at how many times they either bury the lead or miss the lead.
interesting.
I mean, you'd be amazed at how many times their headline and their main point either aren't in the paper at all or they're distorting it. And if they'd even just read all of the abstract, they would know that they were.
Yeah. No, I agree. I read that when, when all these legal briefs were coming out, definitely I read a ton of the briefs for the immunity
Mhm.
thing for Trump. I read
Yeah,
through the briefs and people are like, how can you read them? They're so long. I'm like, you realize they're like double spaced and they cite like a case that takes up like
right.
almost a paragraph. Like,
Once you
like,
start learning how to
yeah,
read them, they don't take.
yes,
I mean, there is you have to learn how to read them.
yes, yep.
But once you learn how to
Agreed.
read them, it doesn't take a ridiculous amount of
No.
time to
And,
read them.
let's, be honest. I'm taking a
And
crap when I'm reading them. Okay.
right. And
And I
then
finish
once
it
you
in a crap usually.
also once you've learned how to read them, you start to get better at knowing who you trust among people who are doing commentary on them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's so much.
who
It's those
who
legal briefs are
who
easy to read.
generally adds to the brief
Hmm.
in your position or from your perspective versus who either obfuscates or misses things from the brief. You know, I mean, when it comes to legal briefs, I always want to know what Jay Quo and Joyce Vance have to say, because they will help me see things that I won't see when I'm reading it on my own. Um, they'll add depth. They'll often add hope.
Uh,
They'll sometimes make me even more scared.
we need that these days.
um, but they know their shit. I never feel like they're they get made out to be left wing people, and they certainly tend to to support Democrats, but like they're not. I mean, that's another thing, and that's where the Republican Party is becoming more like Russia. You know, the main party in Russia does whatever the fuck Putin says.
Yep.
You know, Russian TV doesn't question it. None of the politicians question it. One of the reasons that Democrats have so much trouble maintaining control is we're our own worst enemies, except that I like it that way.
Yeah.
I wish we lived in a world where that was a good thing. I
Yes.
wish we lived in a world where we're having
Following the rules.
inter-party
Yeah.
debates.
Made you more likely to be elected than less likely to be elected.
Right.
You know. I really wish that was the case. I mean,
You
so much.
know,
Yeah.
because things aren't simple. People should have different opinions.
Yes.
Um, I mean, I've heard that during that wonderful era between like the 30s and the 60s where liberalism won out and neither party was particularly liberal or conservative. There were conservative Democrats and there were liberal Republicans and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um that like there were lots of things that got bipartisan support in
Yeah.
part because almost nothing passed without bipartisan support because the idea that even if you were in the majority, you would have enough votes in your own party to pass it wasn't common.
Yeah.
Something the
No, agreed.
Republicans are discovering this week as they're trying to avoid a government shutdown and once again in a position where they might not be able to do it without Democratic votes, except that I don't know how willing the Democrats are to help them at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I just think the things that we need people who are going to govern and make decisions and try to make things better for all of us. It doesn't mean more things better just for me and not somebody else who I don't agree with. Better for all of us because we all benefit from it, and that's what people are losing
Well, and
sight of.
and like the biggest shift in the last 8 years is this is the first time in my life where I feel like there's been a significant group of people wanting to strip rights from
Yes,
people. I mean, it used to be that the conservative was actually could be argued that it was conservative. It's like, well, we're not quite ready for that yet.
yes,
Now it's, oh, we've been doing that, but we don't like that we're doing that.
yeah, exactly.
Even though it has nothing to do with us.
It's not conservative because they're not following the rule of law. They're
Well, and
the way it
also, I
exists,
mean,
and they're not willing. They're willing to change the law. Actually, they are the
yeah,
ones that are being
at its
liberal.
at its
Yeah.
simplest, conservative means resistant to change. Liberal means
Mhm.
willing to
Wanting to change,
change.
looking for change. Yep,
Right.
exactly. And the conservatives are looking for
Reactionary
change.
is I want to go back to the past. Progressive is I want things to be better. So
Yes,
really, we have progressive and reactionary parties.
yes,
Um, I wish that
yeah,
we had progressive and conservative parties
yes, exactly. I have no problems with conservative points of view that are, you know,
that are grounded in reality, that
in
are
reality
that
and science and
well,
data.
and that
Yeah.
don't necessarily argue. I mean, I feel like there was a time, and it's probably at least mildly rose-colored glasses or whatnot. I feel like there was a time where it was less of an argument about whether or not this would be better for the nation, and more about how to get there and how fast.
Hmm. Yep.
Remember when
I could.
conservatives believed in climate change?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Newt Gingrich started out as a environmentalist. I always like to tell
So,
people
so,
that I
so,
read there's an
so
article that he wrote about protecting the
yeah.
environment
Before um, Biden, Nixon was the president that
of the
oversaw the
environment.
most environmental.
Interesting. Yeah.
Nixon started the EPA. Nixon started
Yeah.
the.
Just
how
boggles the
how
mind, right?
quickly did they get rid of aerosol under
Yeah.
Reagan?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that should happen fast.
Right,
Right.
right,
I lived through it. I remember because we went into a hardware store. We had a lot of spray paint and different cans. I
right,
remember all the things changing and being like, wow, that was pretty quick. Yeah.
right. But now it's like for one party, and more, I'm comfortable saying for one party,
Hmm.
the only thing that matters is the other party is wrong.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
The only thing that matters is the
Because,
other
you know,
party
I
is
talked
wrong,
to somebody
which
about,
is actually problematic because that means that even when Democrats might be willing to help Republicans, there's a significant portion of the Republican Party that the mere fact that Democrats are on board makes them
makes it
decide that it must be wrong.
must be wrong. Exactly.
I
You
mean, that's
know,
part of the reason they keep going farther and farther to the right. If they get Democratic votes, it doesn't create a
sense of unity or something. Yeah.
bipartisanship.
Yeah.
It creates oh, well, that must have been liberal then.
Yeah. And the people who in my party who voted for it, we need to get rid of them too, by the
Right,
way. You know,
right.
so
I mean, half the people that Trump has fired are his own appointees from his first time in office.
exactly. Hmm. So yeah.
I mean, it's like
I was talking to somebody and who I
up is
respect a lot.
down,
Yeah.
right is left.
Somebody I respect a lot who is a Trump supporter. They're somebody I work with and a very great partner at work, very logical, and I would, and I that's the person I ask, like, okay, what do you think about this? And they're still on the Trump, board on the Trump train or whatever. And I asked about, I'm like, so what do you think about Ukraine? He's like, well, we need that war to end. I'm like, all these people are dying, and there's so much in that. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "Like, when have I
Sure,
ever
we
heard somebody?"
absolutely
Yeah,
need
yeah,
that war to end, but
yeah.
it won't end if we do it by saying, okay, Vladimir,
But
take everything you
But that's what
want.
I'm saying. Like that's what he's saying. Like it just needs to stop. People need, and I'm like, no, these people want to die for their country. So let's let them. You know what I mean? The Ukrainian people are fighting and they want to fight. They're not complaining. They're not saying, well, we just want this to be over. You know, the loss of life that they're having, they feel is worth it. Unfortunately, they have to put that loss of life out there because of the aggressor, right? They feel their country, you know, and I think we all do. We feel our country is worth defending, right? Dying for and things like that. I mean, I get it. The U.S. is in some trouble, but if you know if things are gonna,
Yeah, I think it would
yeah,
depend on the situation right now.
but yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
I would
as much
defend
as
it.
three
Yeah,
months ago, if Canada invaded, I would go, okay, we're at war with Canada now. But like now, I'd be like, is Canada coming to save us?
well, or even worse, when you know we stand guard, right? We
Right,
invade Canada, right? Which
right.
I thought when I read we stand guard, I thought, man, this is a little over the top for
Well,
me.
and
Now I'm
remember
thinking like,
that
holy
there was a
shit.
false
Yeah.
flag to arrange for. I completely forgot that whole war started with
Yeah.
the U.S. pulling a Putin and
Yeah.
blaming something on Canada.
Yeah.
Bombing
That
their own thing, blaming
hmm
Canada, and going to war with Canada.
yeah. I read that book and I talked to Janet and I said everybody talked about how good this was and I love Brian K. Vaughan, of course. It's Vaughn, right? Yeah,
Right.
it's Vaughn. And I thought that's a little over the top though. This is ridiculous. This could never happen. And now now I'm like, holy shit, this is happening. This could very easily happen, right? You know,
I
so
mean, if it had been Greenland, I'd be even more worried about it.
yeah, yeah.
Though I heard a great thing the other day. Um, you know, apocryphally at least, Iceland was named Iceland and Greenland was named Greenland because Iceland's really nice, but
They
the
didn't want
Vikings
people to
didn't
go.
want people to
Yeah.
go, and
Yeah.
Greenland's actually this horrible. So so
It's
is the
tundra that
joke
yeah, they
still
wanted
being
people to go to
is
it.
the
Yeah.
joke still working 2,000 years later?
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's the biggest like nothing land. I mean, no offense to Greenland and the people there and everything, but it's like,
I
yeah,
mean,
it's not like
apparently
this
it's got
place you could, yeah.
some mineral
Yeah.
resources that they're environmental enough that they don't want to go after.
I see.
But
Okay. Well, maybe it will be green with global warming soon enough. Maybe maybe it will be green, Tad.
well,
Let's
and that's one of the reasons that they don't want to. I mean, the mineral resources it has are below tundra.
okay.
So like they would be contributing to global warming in multiple ways. They'd be
Interesting.
contributing to global warming in terms of whatever pollution they did trying to get the stuff out, but they'd also be contributing to global warming because they'd be literally
Yeah.
breaking the ice, making it easier
Yeah.
to melt.
Anyway.
Crushed ice melts slower than ice cubes or faster than ice cubes. I mean, just yeah, yeah. Uh, why don't we talk about some
Yeah,
upcoming
let's
books
talk. I was going to say we
also?
need to move on. We did say we
Also,
were going to try to keep this tight too. So I did
yeah,
end up. I'm not going to that show tonight because
you
I'm
know how
feeling
it
great here
works.
at the Lamoas. But
So have you heard about assorted crisis events? This
no.
upcoming book. Okay, we got to pull up the time is having a crisis.
Oh
Mingling
my
in the
goodness.
red light district, you can find actual cavemen, medieval knights,
Oh my
and
God. That looks
cyborg
good.
soldiers on
Okay.
leave from World War IV. Victorian debutantes amble their way into cell phone stores, confused and bewildered. What's a data plan? On their way to work, bleary eyed commuters get trapped in time loops, assaulted by alternate reality versions of themselves, and try to avoid post apocalyptic wastelands. And look,
Wow.
the
And that's Dennis
315 bus
Camp
took a
too.
wrong turn into the Neolithic era.
Woo.
Um, it's actually it's going to be an anthology series of one-shot stories.
That's oh well, that makes sense. It's happening in that world. Um,
Right.
He did
I am
the one that I
so
love.
looking forward to
Yeah,
this.
Dennis Camp. He did the one about the superhero guy who's the
Yep,
villain, and then he did the ones about like if Iron Man and Captain America were like Crimson Dynamo or whatever,
that
right?
sounds
That's
right.
Dennis Camp, right? Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. That
Hmm.
his stuff's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Dennis Camp is amazing.
he's really good. He's so intelligent. I mean,
Uh huh.
when your interviews with
We
him,
had
I
him
mean,
on.
not that the other people aren't, but I was just
We
blown
had him
away by
on.
this guy. Yeah,
I loved him. I've been
yeah,
trying to get him back
yeah. He was
because
great. That's what turned me on to him was that your
he was
interview with him.
so fun to talk
Yeah.
to.
Those books are great, by the way. What was that
Oh
called?
yeah.
Do you remember?
Um,
Let me look it up because it's funny I can't
I feel
remember it.
like I should remember, but I'm
Yeah,
drawing a blank right now.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. There it is. 20th Century
20th
Men.
Century Men.
That was great.
But
Yeah.
he's also doing the Ultimates right now, which I
Oh
haven't
wow, I
read
didn't know
yet, but
that.
I've heard fantastic things about
Yes,
his run
the
on
feedback I've
Ultimates.
heard on that sounds like what
Right,
a great little
right.
like twist on this. Maxwell's Demons was the other one that I read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maxwell's Demings was fantastic. I love
Yep.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that that
Anyway,
that
yeah.
finally comes. I've been shouting up and down about Assorted Crisis events since it
When's
was
that coming out?
announced. That comes out this week,
Okay,
Wednesday.
good. Nice.
Finally get
Yep.
to read Assorted Crisis events.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
gonna have to make sure I get that.
we have a Paul Tobin twofer. Uh, Paul Tobin and PJ Holden have the first issue of Dark Pyramid, and Paul Tobin and Carlos Javier Oliveras have the fourth issue of String, both from Mad Cave.
Nice.
Uh, String, you would totally dig. The main character, String, um, will
The bass player
sometimes,
from the Police.
I
No,
mean,
sorry, go
maybe, but her she has this power where she will see threads coming out of you. She
ahead.
sees pink threads connect you with sex partners,
Oh, neat.
and black threads connect murderers and their victims,
Oh,
but she
holy
doesn't
shit. Okay.
necessarily know which way they go.
Pretty cool. And I'm
And
assuming I could
she's
read
she's
that on
helping out a
Global
detective on
Comics.
a thing. What?
I could
It
read
is
that
on
on
Global
Global Comics.
Comics because it's
Nice.
Mad Cave.
See, that's what
Um,
I thought.
yeah.
Paying big
Paul
dividends
Tobin's so
already.
good.
Okay.
I love Paul Tobin.
A
Did you
Tobin
read
twofer.
Calculated Man?
Yes. Yep.
Oh my God. Um, but also New Love and Rockets this week.
Which is cool.
Number 16. Some books I know are spectacular because I've read them already. Babs number 6,
Love
Iron
that
Man number
comic.
6,
Yeah.
Murderberg, and Santos Sisters number 8. Thanks to the people who sent me those books because I like it when they send me stuff ahead of time. It's so nice.
That's fantastic, Ted. I love Babs. What a great, I mean,
Oh,
it's that Dungeons and Dragons, funny
but with
itch. Yeah.
it's the DEI version though,
Yes. Oh,
which
yeah.
is
Yeah.
why it's so fucking good.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that and Barbaric. Barbaric?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Barbaric. I
Barbaric.
love, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
those comics can, you know, just
yeah.
I can just blow through those.
Oh
I
yeah.
have a ton of comics I haven't read, right? But
Right.
there's ones that I'm always picking up and reading, Last House on the Lake and Wonder
Right.
Woman and but Babs is one of them, Barbaric is another. So
So you wanted to know about Domain.
I did, yeah.
Have you read Public Domain?
I read like probably the first four issues, but I want to come back to it and read it in a trade.
You
I have the
should.
issues. I
And I
just
think
don't.
it's up
Yeah.
to 10 issues now.
Yeah.
I think the second trade is coming out soon. So the second trade, because the first trade was about like the history and getting the rights back. The second trade, um, now that Sid Dallas has the rights to the domain, which was the character, back,
Okay.
um, they start putting out a new series.
Oh, that
The
makes sense. Yeah.
Domain
Well, domain.
is the series
Hmm.
from the second arc of the public domain.
Okay, got it.
So yeah. So it's like the comic within a comic,
Yeah, that's fantastic.
and it's really good. It's
Yeah,
really good.
I could
Chip
read that all
Zdarsky,
day, probably.
Rachel
Yeah,
Stott. Yep.
I'll have to
I am looking
watch
forward
that
to
one.
there's a trade paperback coming out or not a trade, but graphic novel from Fantagraphics called Baby Blue? In the not so distant future, 20 something Betty lives in a fascistic society that menacingly polices mental health. When she's caught crying in public, the peacekeepers take her to an Orwellian health facility to control her emotions, which feels
Wow.
so real, but also
Scarily,
relevant.
yeah, scarily relevant, right?
Right. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm looking forward to that. Have you read Fanta Bukowski?
No, but
Fanta Bukowski
I
is
do like
Noah
Noah
Van
Van
Sciver's
Sciver. Man, yeah, go ahead.
book about the guy that thinks he's the world's greatest author, even though he hasn't actually written anything yet,
Oh,
and
that's
that's
great.
why he made his pen name Fanta Bukowski. So this feels very much in that vein. It's called Beat It Rufus. Rufus Baxter is an aging, professionally unemployed loser, desperately delusionally hanging on to his 1980s hair metal fantasies of headlining arenas, despite so much evidence to the contrary, like audience members ducking when he tosses promo t shirts at an open mic night. The rest of his bandmates in Funky Cool died decades ago in a horrible plane crash on the cusp of their first big break. When he gets kicked out of the Denver storage unit he's been illegally sleeping in, his only prospect is a last second wedding gig the very next day in Wyoming. A hop in his car and possibly a peyote button or two sends Baxter on a psychedelic and existential road trip through his past and forces him to confront every bad decision he's made along the way.
Hmm, sounds good.
Yeah, yeah. And such a Noah book.
Yeah, he's really very good at what he
Yeah, yeah.
does. So, I mean, I don't know
And
how
then
to say it, but
David Rubin's El Fuego.
yeah.
David Rubin, if you recall, did the art on the book that Matt Kint and
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Lemire wrote during the
Mhm. No,
pandemic.
I know Ruben, and he
Right.
did some of he was the guest artist in Black Hammer a couple times too, right?
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So El Fuego is a psychological, philosophical, and geographical odyssey through the last remaining days of planet Earth. Go figure that last days of planet Earth seem to be a really common theme for comics creators this lately. I mean,
Ah,
it's not like comics creators have ever been ahead on the curve on things either. So, I mean,
yeah.
we shouldn't worry about that, should we?
Hmm. I would say,
So, yeah, this one looks also fun. His art is,
I like his art. It
yeah,
took me a while to really grasp it. Like it always used to seem like it was comedic,
yeah.
but I mean, it just took me a while to get used to it. And he's and it's one of my favorite artists in the world. He reminds me they're similar enough to Paul Pope, but different enough to Paul Pope that
Hmm.
they're not the
Right,
same. But I love
right.
their style. Their styles are very I was describing, I reread Paul Pope's new art book.
Art book.
Paul Pope 2 came
Pulp
out,
Hope 2.
and I got that and was looking through it, and it made me want to reread 100%, which is I think my favorite
Yep.
story that he's ever
I
done.
think so too.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's.
I told Jana how like, and she got it. She,
Didn't he do Black Liquid too?
yeah, Heavy Liquid. Yep,
Heavy Liquid.
yep.
Yeah, it's
And
between 100% and Heavy Liquid for my
I
favorite.
really like Heavy Liquid, but I just love 100% because it's a romantic story, kind of
Right.
about different
Then
people
it's
connecting.
the 100% that I like better
Yeah, and that
because I
one,
like the one that's got more of a romance.
yeah, that's fantastic. People meeting people and connecting and
Right.
everything. And I got to have dinner with Paul one time, and my wife was there, and she's seen his art, and I was describing that book, and I said his picture, his scenes in 100% in the bar, in the strip club, and all those kind of things. Um, they look loud. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
they look hot.
Hmm.
They look smelly. You know what I mean? Like he's able to
Hmm.
somehow put all this into that
Yep.
that stuff that he does.
Yep.
And anyway,
I
and
mean,
I think Ruben's kind of that way. It's like,
he's one of the I mean, people when I say that you can do anything with comics, they'll bring
yeah,
up sound, they'll bring up smell, blah blah blah,
hmm,
and I'm like, are you kidding me?
yeah,
You can absolutely do sound in comics. You can
yeah,
absolutely do smell in comics.
hmm, yeah. You could just see it. And Ruben's kind of that way where there's that dynamic aspect of the
Yeah.
atmosphere. I mean, people are atmospheric, but some of them are just so atmospheric that it's right there up front almost. It's not a backdrop, and it
Right.
works really well in their art styles, I think, both of those guys. So,
Well, thank you for filling in at the last minute, Andy. And
man, I didn't want to talk about comics. Good God, are you crazy?
I hope that this hasn't been too all over the place for my listeners. Hi, Mom. Hi, Adam. Hi, Britt. Hi,
Hello,
John.
everyone.
Yeah, I think that's most of the listeners there, and we will see you after the next page.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22 Panels Podcast.